Heyo. Oh, where did she go? Heyo. What's going on, everybody? We lost her. We lost her. Oh my. She's back. She's back.
Let's go.
We
I don't know
didn't
what
lose her.
happened.
We didn't lose her. We didn't lose her. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only pro wrestling legend, Missy Hyatt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. You are undoubtedly a legend. I'm going to confess right now, I was born in 1980. I started watching wrestling in 1985. I'll get to a second when your career started, but I believe it was in the 80s to some extent. Like, you were the it woman for me. Like, being a young man, seeing you interviewing people that were the stars, seeing you valeting, seeing you do everything, you really truly were a pioneer in the world of professional wrestling as far as women go. It was truly an honor to have you on. Jay, I know you are also a fan of Missy Hyatt. Let's hype her up a little bit. What do you got to say?
I mean, let's be honest. Missy Hyatt, the first woman of wrestling, has more interesting stories than any of these women out here, man. And
it's only because I'm old and I've been around a long time.
Look, we're here to hear them, man. She's around all the best wrestlers: Sting, Ric Flair, Legion of Doom, the Steiner brothers. The list goes on. Come on now, hottest time in wrestling. Melissa Hyatt, Missy Hyatt, aka Missy Hyatt, was there live in color while I was running around in Pampers. So here we are now. It's 2023. The Spurs had the first round draft pick. We're on Niko Extra's podcast. You know, we are the ones, and every other podcast is the twos, baby. Yes, sir. And we are live. We bring the energy. And, you know, this podcast isn't just the Niko Extra show. This is for the people. This is the people's show. So let's do it. Here we are.
Very, very. What a lovely intro. I'm not going to lie about that. That was pretty amazing. Let's start out right now. Let's go with some fan questions. What was it like being in the Dangerous Alliance, Missy?
Well, I wasn't in the Dangerous Alliance. I worked against Paul Lee.
She worked against the Dangerous Alliance, John.
Yeah,
Come on.
I was against Paul Lee.
See, we give them one shot and they blow it. Absolutely. Come on, damn it. If you're going to bring
But
it
it was
with
fun working against Paul Lee because he was such a baby. He's such a girl. You know,
they say you have not aged in the comments, Missy. They say you have not aged. Congratulations. You do look lovely, and it is humbling and full circle to be a child or a young man seeing you, and now here we are. You know, we're interviewing you and talking about your career, and you've had an amazing career. You really have. And like, what led you to pursue a career in professional wrestling? Like, how did you get on this road?
Well, you know, I was 17. My dad was flipping channels. The fabulous Freebirds were on Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Michael
and
P.S.
I just thought it was such a hoot. I was like, oh my God, what is this? You know, I didn't know about wrestling. I didn't know that it was like I mean, I knew who Dusty Rhodes was, of course, because I grew up in Florida. And who didn't know who Dusty Rhodes was?
The American Dream.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this was like 1981, and my dad was flipping channels, and I saw the Freebirds, and I got hooked and started watching it, and I knew right then and there, I want to be in wrestling. I knew I didn't really want to wrestle because I don't want to break a nail or anything like that, but I knew that I wanted to do something in wrestling.
So I have a question. Where'd you sign up then?
Well, I really didn't sign up. I was dating Hollywood John Tatum, and David Manning, as a matter of fact, saw me backstage and said, hey, do you want to be a valet? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What do I do? You know, it's like, go out and hit sunshine with a purse. Be there Friday night. Okay, I'm there. That's how it started.
And there really wasn't that many women around, right? It wasn't pretty much a male-dominated industry.
At the time, there was Baby Doll and there was Sunshine. And that was really it. And then Miss Elizabeth started about the same month I did. So.
And see, I don't want her to be called the first lady because she isn't. It is you. You know what I mean? She tries to take that moniker, but I'm not giving it to her. Your career, you worked with several different promotions, several different wrestlers. What is your most memorable professional wrestler that you worked with?
Well, I have to say Hollywood John Tatum, who I started out with, because if it wasn't for him, I would have never got into wrestling. And Hollywood and I worked the best together. I mean, he was just fabulous. His looks on his face, you know, when he was getting the crap beat out of him. I mean, just his facial expressions were the best. Working with him was the best.
This was before my time. So where was this all at?
And world class.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So was your first big, like, I know you did like promotions beforehand, but was your first kind of big, wow, I made it moment like WCW when you were there and hanging out in the back?
I mean, it was more like when I didn't realize how strong the TV was in Dallas. This was still back in world class. And I remember I had gone to a Kmart to get some plants, and for the house, we had just bought a condo. And I remember the guy said, "Oh, we'll go to the other Walmart on," I forget what road it was, but he said, "Go to the other one and they have the palms there." So I pull up and there's a guy out there with a big cart of palms that I wanted. "Hey, Missy, how's it going?" I'm like, you know, I'm like, "Yeah, me, I want them," you know. And I just was like, wow, this is cool. And then when we went to Israel, I mean, the only thing on TV in Israel at the time was NBA basketball, public broadcasting, and educational stuff, and world-class wrestling. So we had to have 2 bodyguards apiece, and people were staying out in front of our hotels 24/7, and it was just amazing over there. That's when I really felt.
And what age are you when that's happening? You're a teenager?
This was in '86.
Oh, okay. So yeah. young as hell.
I was young and just having a blast, having a ball.
Crazy.
We sold out a soccer stadium for like 10 days straight. The same soccer stadium every night.
And what kind of appearances were you making during those shows?
I was just, managing John, going out to the ring, being a valet, fighting with sunshine.
Was this around the Von Erichs?
This was with the Von Erichs.
Oh man, that had to be.
Yeah, I was working with the Von Erichs.
That energy, I can't even imagine what that was like. I mean,
it was amazing.
How many
Von
people?
Erich, he just looked like a superstar. I mean, if you didn't know he was a wrestler, if you saw him at the airport or you saw him walking at the mall, you would say, "Yeah, that's a superstar." You don't know, who is he? He's a bodybuilder? Is he a professional football player? What is it? He is somebody. He's a superstar.
Thomas Compton wants to know if you got any good Cornette stories. We know he's a loudmouth MFer, but we do love him. I mean, he's a legend. At the end of the day, I never had
to work with him, and I always wanted to work a program with him, and I never got a chance to because we never were in the same. We were never at the same time in the same place. I mean, we were in WCW, but we were never, never got a chance to do it. But I think I did his podcast or something, and then he sent me out of his vast collection of stuff. He sent me a magazine that I was on the cover of it, and I thought that was really nice of him.
That is nice of him. There's your memory there. What about Tony Schiavone? Then and now, does he still have it? And tell us some crazy Schiavone stories.
Too many.
Well, Tony, I used to call him the father of America because he's got like 12 kids or something. I'm not sure, but Tony used to write my stuff for the syndicated show, and he'd put it on a teleprompter for me. And he used to always get on to me about, "You look like you're reading it," because I'd be going like that. And I was like, "Well, write it," but he would write it more of me, like my Missy Hyatt character. And he did it. He's such a great job at doing it. And then I wasn't look like I was reading it the whole time. So.
Nice. I love Tony Schiavone. He's kind of still.
He's the best.
He still has it. It's crazy that he could still go. We see him we go to AEW here in Orlando. I mean, the man still has it. It's crazy.
Him and Jim Ross. It's.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Jim Ross to me is still the best announcer there is.
He's the greatest of all time. He is.
Yeah, he is. He's
who we love that doesn't get any recognition like he should is Mauro Ranallo. That dude really has a passion for wrestling.
Oh my gosh, Mauro was so good, and he didn't get the recognition. But he's a big superstar. He's doing shoot fighting,
HBO, Showtime, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Back to you, Missy. It's a male-dominated industry, especially in the 80s. What were some of the toughest challenges you had to overcome being a young, beautiful female aspiring to be great? Because that really is what you were doing at that time. What were your biggest challenges?
I just wanted to get paid what my counterparts got paid, and I never got that was my aspiring thing, is to get paid what I was worth.
You were getting paid valet money, and you wanted to be paid
I
accordingly.
was getting paid clean my bathroom money, not valet money. Clean the bathroom money.
So what's that like? What's that like? Did they pay you weekly, bi-weekly? Was it like,
no, I was paid weekly, and like, I was the first female to get a guaranteed contract in UWF.
Hey.
And I remember I had my contract in my hand. I had like $2,000 or $3,000. I forget how much it was. And I go to the Nissan dealership, and I wanted to buy a 300ZX twin turbo. And I bought one. Ted DiBiase bought one, and Steve. Who else bought one? I forget, but we were calling it the official UWF car. But I mean, I was so proud of myself that my dad had to co-sign for me though, still, because I was only like 22 years old. But I bought my first car with my contract in my hand, saying I'm guaranteed money, so I can pay for it. You know,
I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah, I'm rich. I'm rich now.
No credit check, just a contract, huh?
You don't understand. I'm going to be on TV. It's going to be my big moment.
Exactly. I'm on TV. I'm going to get $1,000 a week for at least 3 years. Yeah, I can pay for it. So,
you know, in the 80s and 90s, you were known for being really outspoken, kind of. Is that really a shadow of your true character, or was that Missy Hyatt, the person in pro wrestling?
No, I think I have a bad problem of stuff just falling out of my mouth that I don't think about before I speak. So I get in trouble with that for a lot. I get in trouble a lot.
It happens.
Some
of the wildest times you were in was probably ECW. I'm sure that was a crazy place to be. What was your most memorable moment in ECW, if you specifically remember some crazy stuff?
Yeah, trying to find a chair that wasn't broke in the dressing room to sit on. Because everything was broken. Every table was broken. Every chair was broken. And that locker room was a dingy hole in the wall, dark, dingy, dirty, smelly place to be. And that's probably the one thing that I remember the most. But I mean, the fans were amazing. I mean, they were just hardcore fans.
Gotcha.
They were great. The fans were awesome.
Why did you wait? Let's go back. So why did you leave WCW and go to ECW?
Well, I left WCW because I got fired from Eric Bischoff fired me. And then I left, and it was a couple years before I went to ECW. I moved to New York City and went to college or started college and was bartending. And then I went to ECW.
Did he call you to his office? How'd that go?
Huh?
Did Eric Bischoff call you to his office? He's like, Missy.
No, we were down doing TV taping in Orlando, as a matter of fact. And I had talked to one of the bosses, and they were asking me how did I like the Clash of the Champions. And I said, well, honestly, I just told them that I had a brain. It's basically what I did. I said, it was Cactus Jack and somebody else against the Nasty Boys, and it was a time limit bout on the pay-per-view. I mean, on the Clash of the Champions. And at the end of it, instead of showing that the 3 count 1, 2, 3 was right at the time limit, they showed him kissing me, which was the end of it. The 2 guys kissing the blonde girl. I said, why didn't they show on the replay, which nobody saw? Only the people at the building saw it, but at home, they didn't get to see that they won the 3 count, because then for the pay-per-view, it was no time limit. That was the match. And I said, it didn't make any sense. And so I guess he told Eric Bischoff that I thought it was, what I thought. And Eric thought I went over his head or something, and he fired me. And then because I also bitched about the picture of my boob popped out, and it was hanging on the, in the photographer room at CNN Center.
I heard about that. I heard you walked in and you saw your own tit. You were like, wait.
Yeah, my own boob was popped out.
That's my boob.
I mean, now you can go on the internet and see millions of naked pictures of my boob,
You know, it's so sad. It's so sad.
How many guys right now are like, really? Missy Hyatt boob.
Yeah, no, Missy Hyatt naked. No.
Right.
But that's old. At least I can live, when I looked really great, and it was a long time ago, and I can still look good for eternity. So that's
you
a good
still
thing.
look amazing, Missy Hyatt.
Oh, thank you.
Cool Mike C, thank you for joining us. Before you got here, we each gave an homage to Missy Hyatt. Can you take a second and say, what Missy Hyatt and her career has done for you in your life?
Missy has done so much, and going back to the days of really the territories, in Dallas, and I think you even interacted, in addition, you were saying the Von Erichs, but also the Freebirds too, right?
Yeah.
Crockett Productions, so another region up in Tennessee. You were up in Tennessee with, where Lawler runs things. I mean, and then of course, WCW, ECW. I mean, we're all really, really big fans.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed taking it all in. The one thing that I'd like to hear, the biggest thing that goes on now is like the tales of the territories in so many different regions and different things. So to me, it would be even more profound to hear from Missy Hyatt, just some tales from the territories, maybe not all in this show, but over time. Have you thought about putting something like that together and, putting a composition together?
I don't really have really great stories. I mean, one story, I was in Tennessee, as a matter of fact, working against Lawler, and I was managing Robert Fuller. And as we were walking to the ring, he kept, slow down. You're a little fast for me. I guess it just took him a while to get to the ring. I don't know. I have stupid stories like that. Nothing really great.
She remembers all the botches.
Oh, yeah. No, that's working with the Nasty Boys. That's all mistakes.
Nasty Boys.
But each promotion handles things differently. Like a lot of places you would insist they'd probably pay cash.
Right. Yeah.
In those territory days. Yeah. So it was a different world.
Get a check. I never had a check. I never, knock on wood, I only had one check bounce on me, and that was Herb Abrams. No, Herb Abrams. I always paid an ECW fine. Paulie, I knew where Paulie lived, so he couldn't bounce a check on me. But Herb Abrams bounced a check on me, but it wasn't until like years later that a guy that was writing a book about him paid me the amount on the check. He paid me the face value of the check, and then I did Dark Side of the Ring after dark, and they paid me too. So I mean, I got like 5 times the amount of that check, that bounce check. At the end. So
the patience paid off, and that's a good thing.
It paid off. It took 20 years, but it paid off.
Right.
This was a good question that popped up from the Peanut Gallery. Missy, who initially proposed the idea of you replacing Rowdy Piper with the talk show segments?
Oh my gosh, that was Vince's idea. That was Vince's bright idea.
Vince McMahon, the mastermind behind everything. How is it like with Vince McMahon? I know you don't have the fondest memories, but what was it like?
They were great. They paid me. I got some really great clothes and shoes and stuff out of the deal, but I just wanted to be Missy Hyatt and do the interview segments and not be a baby face. And he wanted me to be a baby face, and I didn't know how to be a baby face. I didn't know how to interview anybody. It was all new to me. And so my segments really sucked. And so, I totally get it. I understand. It just wasn't the right time for me to be there.
I mean, in Vince's defense, you are kind of naturally a baby face. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I think you're a good girl. I know you could be bad, but like, you have a good heart overall. And at the end of the day, you probably had to kind of work to like be mean, right? I mean, it's not easy in there.
No,
you loved it?
I love being mean. I love being mean. I love being the bad.
Isn't it easier to get heat?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
easier.
Why not do that? Yeah.
Well, they say being a heel is easier because you get the heat is so much. All you have to go out there and say, you know what, Missouri sucks. I hate this town. You can get cheap heat from any place. Yeah. Get all you toothless, fat, bald dorks, and then they're like, boo, you suck. I mean, it's especially in the 80s. It was so cliche.
Well, you know what has 60 arms, 60 legs, and 6 teeth, don't you?
What's that?
Front row ringside at wrestling. At least it did in the 80s, or in the 70s and 80s, I guess I should say.
There's some guy right now going, gosh, she's such a bitch. Can't believe she said that about me. So
you've
women,
seen some tough crowds, right? Like really tough crowds.
Oh yeah.
Versus WWE now.
Back from the ring and just having nacho cheese in my hair, gum in my hair, beer thrown at me. I loved it though. It was great. Oh my gosh. Like Terry Funk said, if you get stabbed coming back from the ring, you did a good job. And I mean, I'd come back just drenched in mayonnaise, ketchup, whatever, all on me. And I loved it. It was great.
And just another night at the office.
Yeah.
Who's the nicest person you've ever met in pro wrestling, Missy?
Jim Ross.
Good old JR. He is, you know, you're on Twitter. I saw you tweeted this. He's an interesting character on Twitter. He'll be liking some interesting photos of, you know, booty shaking and stuff like that. He's a real man. I'll give him that. So,
Yes,
so
he
women's
is.
wrestling has evolved a lot since the 80s. You know, we got Charlotte Flair, who Cool Mike C considers a Mount Rushmore wrestler of not even men and women.
Dominating.
You know,
Yes.
we got Sasha Banks, we got, you know, Bailey, we got all these women that have done great. And now you even evolve to the next level where you have like a Jade Cargill, who's just like a bionic machine. How do you feel about the evolution of wrestling?
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, but I do have to say though, I mean, and I'm not knocking it because I think women's wrestling has really evolved and I think it's amazing. But when I went, Paulie got me tickets to a WWE show. And this was an undercard girls match. And to me, it looked like Dancing with the Stars X gymnastics X kick your ass. You know, because these girls were in there and they were just doing all these flips and turns and all this stuff. And I'm like, you know, ouch, ouch. You know, I was amazed at it. Amazed to see it live. I mean, you can see it on TV, but when you see it live, it's actually even better. So
yeah, we've been fortunate to go to many WrestleManias together, and like we've just seen the women's evolution of, and now like Rhea Ripley, we've been watching her ever since NXT. To see a woman like that get in the ring and, you know, dominate other women, that's really what she's doing. It's quite impressive.
Here's the thing with me is like the 90s and the, you know, the 80s and whatever. I go back and watch these old films and I'm like, the acting seems so natural. And then I'm sitting here watching it now, and it just seems so, you know, scripted.
Well, it is scripted.
Well, of course, but
it's
you could.
I mean, it's hard for me. I try to get into acting, but it's really hard for me to say words that someone else wrote.
Right.
To me, it's very difficult. Ahead of time, I can ad-lib anything, but try to give me words, and I'm like, well, you know, I just say it like this when you got the writer there looking at you like.
Right.
Yeah. Get somebody that can read my lines, you know, the way I wrote it. So
do you feel like WWF at the time, WWF, WWE now, were they a lot more controlling with the Missy Hyatt character versus the indie?
Because
you were smoking.
Yeah,
you were smoking.
Scripted
right.
When I went out there.
How'd you feel about that? How did, you know, because that was a short term.
It was very short because it sucked and I sucked. And so
here you are.
Very good.
Here you are talking to the writers of Vince McMahon. You're like, hey, this is not me.
No, this was, I told Vince McMahon this because Vince was working with me. And I was like, can I just go out there and let me just be Missy Hyatt? Let me just be my character that I've done for the last couple of years. Let me go out there and do, or a year and a half or whatever. And he's like, no, this is how I want it. And I was like, okay.
Well,
we got another peanut gallery question. Is it true you introduced Buff Bagwell to the wrestling business? If so, tell us a little bit about that.
He was my neighbor. And I saw him out there washing his car one day, and I was like, hello. And he said, hey, Missy, he goes, my brother wants to know how to be a wrestler. And I'm like, why don't you be a wrestler? You know, so I hooked him up with somebody to train him and got him some work. Then he got the global. Then I took his tape to Jim Barnett because I knew Jim Barnett would love him, and which he did. Got him a tryout, and he was a good worker. You know, he had it. Because I told the guy that was training him, I go, listen, don't work him for money. Don't tell him it's going to be $2,500 a month and this, that, and the other. I go, just see if he's got it. And if he's got it, train him. If he doesn't, let him know. You know?
That's amazing. I didn't know that. I know physically he had it, obviously, and then he got on the mic. And
I mean, he got the timing. You know, he could work. I mean, which was amazing. I didn't, you know, either you got it or you don't. So
we just asked this question, Mia. She just said she thinks today's talents are amazing. She's impressed with them.
Where'd you train at? Where was it a gym nearby? Where were you at?
I know are you talking about Buff?
Yeah, you guys in general.
Yeah.
Did you train with him?
I never worked out. I never really worked out, but it was a guy. I can't remember. I'd have to ask Bonnie Blackstone who the trainer was or who was, but it was somewhere in Atlanta.
I can imagine the parties that happened at Buff and Missy's neighborhood.
No, I remember I had Carrie Von Erich and myself came home one night and we were really drunk and smashed and everything. And I was like, I'm going to get drunk and see if he has a foot or not, you know? I got drunk and passed out and I don't remember anything, but we were banging on Bagwell's door and he came to the door with a gun and he opens up the door. What is it? And I was like, wait. And we were both like,
oh my God.
Hands up like this. He's like, oh no, I'm sorry. Hey, Missy, how's it going? Oh my God, it's Carrie Von Erich, you know? And then I passed out.
The Von Erichs, man. It's crazy you were like around them.
She's been around everybody, literally.
It's insane.
I mean,
Ric Flair, Von. What happened with that with Ric Flair? Weren't you supposed to be his manager at the time?
I don't know. They had me this whole thing about me trying to get an interview with Ric Flair, trying me to talk to Ric Flair. They did all kinds of stuff, and I don't know where they were going with that. I don't think they knew where they were going with that.
Did you talk to Rick about it, or no? Did you have a conversation with Rick, or you just, I'm gonna do my job?
I just do what they tell me, you know. Whatever Dusty tells me to do, Missy does, you know.
Well, the nasty boys worked out for you, right? I mean,
oh God,
no?
I wanted to go with the Hollywood Blondes, and I thought that would be a better for, you know, be with them too. Yeah. And no, they put me with the Nasty Boys, and I really wanted to stay as an announcer, and I didn't want to be on the road, and I didn't want to manage anyone. But that was a great thing because me and a guy that I was dating, I broke up with him because he lied to me about being on a boat with girls and this guy. And so I broke up with him because of that. And him and Bischoff were best friends. And so he fired me because of breaking up with Jason. Or going over his head or whatever reason. I don't know. I have no idea what the reason was.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They were so male. They were so, like male petty bullshit. You know what I mean? That's really what it boils down to. Missy and the Hollywood Blondes. Yes, that would have been a really interesting.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
That would have been a perfect fit. I agree. Definitely. You know, outside of wrestling, you've had opportunities in acting and writing and other stuff. What is your favorite non-wrestling memory that you've had so far, or something that wrestling has given you the opportunity to do that wasn't wrestling?
Oh gosh, let me think. Well, I remember I was in California. I lived in LA for a couple of years, and we were leaving. We tried to get into some party, and we were leaving, and this guy goes, "Hey, Missy Hyatt, here, you want our passes, passes." And I was with somebody that was on an ABC show, and then saw this guy, Peppa from Chip and Pepper. They had a Saturday morning TV show on. I was like, not the Saturday morning show, not ABC, but a good old TBS got us into this party, you know. And I was just like, I was the superstar for the night, so got us in.
Awesome. Jay, Cool Mike C, we're right at the 30-minute mark. You guys have any other questions you want to give the lovely Missy Hyatt?
I mean, I see one good one here, finally, from the Peanut Gallery, is like, who was the best person you managed? I mean, you managed 10 people. Who would you say really was like, this is it, I'm clicking with them?
That was Hollywood John Tatum. Definitely Hollywood John Tatum. Go back and look at some Missy Hyatt and Hollywood John Tatum versus like Dirt Journey. You'll see her kick my ass. I mean, beat my ass. We didn't know what we were doing. It was shoot fighting in there.
How was the crowd? It was wild.
Crowd would go crazy. She would get a hold of me and the crowd would go crazy and she would just beat me.
Would you do the cat roll back and forth?
Yeah, we did the cat roll, the choking, the hair, pulling the hair, throwing me around, everything. She beat my ass. And it was like my boyfriend was telling me, he goes, I can't believe you took that bump into the turnbuckles. You know you're not supposed to take it like that. And I'm like, I didn't know how to take it. What are you talking about? I never went to school. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah.
How many people would you say were in attendance?
Oh my gosh, this is back when there was probably, 30,000 people.
Jesus.
This is like the Tulsa Convention Center sold out.
That's bigger than a Monday Night Raw.
The convention center every 2 weeks when we do TV taping.
And they would just bring the house like Dusty and Flair and everybody, right? Everyone was showing up.
I mean, it was amazing. It was crazy.
You really are a part of history. Do you think you are going to become Hall of Fame material in the WWE, Missy?
I wish, but only one can hope, one can dream.
That's right. Yes, that was the best part. We're definitely hoping for you. And if you do get inducted to the Hall of Fame, I hope you get 4 passes You, your boyfriend, and the 3 of us. We all want to go.
Okay.
We go in the Hall of Fame. We're
Come
your
on,
biggest
Vince
fans.
McMahon.
We've
Let's
been
make
your
it
biggest
happen,
fans.
Vince.
Yes, come
Yeah,
on,
let
Vince.
it happen. I want that ring. I want to be like this.
You absolutely deserve
Lang.
it, and you will get it. Your time will definitely come. Where can
you.
everyone find you on social media?
I'm Missy Hyatt at Twitter, and I'm also the real Missy Hyatt on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Missy.
Thank
We didn't have
you.
any mishaps this time. This has been great.
Yeah, I got on here okay.
This is the dream interview we wanted. Everyone, Missy
Thank you.
Hyatt, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.
Love you, Missy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Missy.
Bye.
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 All right. The show goes on, everyone. Thank you so much for your questions. You guys were absolutely awesome. That was probably our best interview to date.
Oh, yes.
I say so myself. Not to be cocky, but that went pretty well, I must say. And Jay, damn, bro, you're looking smooth. Look at you. You have come a mile and a half. Look at this. The guy is crisp. The guy sounds good. I mean, look at Cool Mike C here. This man is 1080 crisp HD. And then obviously Niko Exxtra, as good as it gets.
Of course.
All right, we're going to stop effing around. We're going to get to the news, but first we're going to spin the wheel and see who is winning. This is a good one. Cool, Mike. See, you weren't on. It's RVD Extra Box.
Oh, yeah. RVD.
And an RVD Funko Pop. You're getting both these in an extra box. Good luck to the winner tonight. Go Spurs, Thomas says. Jedi J. We got a Spurs in here, so that's nice.
Yes, sir.
Here we go, guys. Let's see who the winner's going to be. Someone's winning the RVD Sports Pack. I love Missy Hyatt. That girl's awesome.
Oh, she is.
We might have to have her back on.
We'll have her on in the future for sure.
We need to get a Tales of the Territories with her.
Tales
she's got some stories.
Oh,
she's got some stories in every region.
They are way too long. We would have to.
We'll have to break it up into a mini
in
series with Missy.
She's got stories. That was a PG interview. The next one will be
R.
Yeah. If Jay needs to give her the hard-hitting questions. Who's the winner going to be tonight for Niko Exxtra Winners Club? Over 100 subscribers. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'm pretty much done marketing it. I don't even want to grow this much. I just want to be at this number because this breaks even. Who's the winner going to be tonight? It is slowing down. Oh, shiznit. Cal Joseph. Who is it? Which one? Cal Deep Lau. Congratulations. You just won the RVD Sports Pack. He's a 2-time winner. These people are lucky, man. Crazy. I never win anything. These guys are over here winning stuff multiple times. Congratulations, Cal Deep Lau. You just won the RVD Sports Pack. Let's get to, I'm going to put the overlay on if you guys want to ask questions. Let's talk a little pro wrestling here. First thing is, Bray Wyatt is not currently listed in any fashion on the WWE roster. Fightful Select says that's because he's still dealing with illnesses that have sidelined him for months. What do we think about this, folks? Cool Mike C, what do you think about Bray Wyatt no showing for the last couple months?
Clearly, he has Vince-itis. We know what it is. I mean, Vince don't like him. Vince isn't going to use him. He hasn't done anything since the Rumble. And they've taken away any heat or momentum he could have possibly had, and it's going nowhere. I don't know. You're exactly right. They said he's not listed on the internal roster at all, and creative has absolutely nothing and no directive to do anything at this time.
Jedi J, what do you think about this one?
I'm gonna have to disagree with Mike C. I think creative will always have something for Bray Wyatt. They've had it.
Not at this time.
They've had it for the past 5 years. Why would they not have anything now?
No, creative for production. On a weekly show, a premium live event, there's nothing in the lineup for him at this time.
It's Bray Wyatt. You don't have anything for Bray Wyatt? Are you kidding me?
I don't get that either. I don't understand.
They're kicking Drew McIntyre to the curb too. You
got to have room for Bray Wyatt. I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me.
You got to find something for Drew McIntyre, or he's going to tear it up over at AEW and Japan and wherever he wants to go. He'll go to Europe too.
Here's the
Who's
thing.
going to win this undisputed championship belt on May 31st? I'm not going to announce our special guest for that day, but he could potentially be a WWE superstar and a Raw superstar. That's
Yes,
all.
sir.
Current roster, I believe.
Current Raw superstar potentially could be on here. I'm not going to announce it till it's official, but that's the goal for the 31st. So be here, be squared. That's the way it's going down. DIY, some of our favorite tag team moments. Ciampa and Gargano expected to get a big push after the Night of Champions. We've seen the Way debut recently come out, and now we've seen him saying that he's coming. Don't worry, he'll be here soon. They're saying that Gargano is the person he's speaking of, and he's going to be coming back, and they're going to be making a push. What do you think about this, Jedi J?
They were amazing in NXT. We were all DIY fans. They work well in the ring together. We've seen multiple takeovers where they've tore the roof apart. Gargano and Ciampa know each other. They're like peanut butter and jelly. They might be a little too small for me as a tag team, but only time will tell. We'll see how they work in the ring together. But come on now. We all know Vince McMahon pushes big guys. And, I just feel like they're going to fall, sink in the wave of the big men. And we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I'm not, DIY. I've seen him in NXT. I'm looking forward to it. Do I think it's a big deal? No. But we'll see what happens.
Cool, Banksy.
This is clearly Triple H driven.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Vince has absolutely nothing to do with this. So you may be right, Jay, if Vince just comes and pulls the plug on him. But this is clearly Triple H expanding the tag team division. Because as we know, Vince was never really a big fan of a strong tag team division. He really wasn't. So this is another thing that they're trying to beef it up and show something a little bit different. And he just loves Gargano and Ciampa. They're like two of his favorite people ever out of NXT, and he's going to find a place for him to excel. And I'm glad they're bringing Candice LeRae as well. So that's nice.
I love them. We both know how hard they can work, but it's just not going to work on Raw and all them. They
At least they have an opportunity to make some money for a little bit of time before they fade off into the sunset and go to Impact or AEW. But let these guys have a run, maybe another year. It's not going to be things that are legends are made of, but let these guys put food on the table for the next year. And I think they could do that.
Let me tell you something though. About Bray Wyatt.
Let me tell you something. Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, to me, I love Bray Wyatt. But
we all do,
dude.
We all do.
He is so emotional.
Yeah.
It's always something with him.
Them last promos were cut and were deep, man. He was like, brothers and sisters, I'm trying to keep these hoods inside. Like, he's serious.
It's like he needs 2 weeks off for this.
He's believable.
He needs 2 weeks off for that. I need a week off for this. I need a week off for that. When is Bray Wyatt going to just close his mouth and just work? It's always something's going on every time with Bray Wyatt. He's very emotional. He gets
play the game, so to speak.
It's like he's depressed. And I just want to see Bray Wyatt on TV for a while and come out, have a match at WrestleMania. Let's get Bray Wyatt back to Bray Wyatt. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell's going on with him.
I hope he's okay. I mean, I really do hope he's okay because we love him. We don't want to have anything short term that could be destructive. But yeah, we want to see him on TV. We want to see him at the arenas. I mean, we love Bray Wyatt. I mean, at least we had a chance to see him in that Mountain Dew pitch dark match at Royal Rumble. But we were there. We were close. It was exciting. It was good. You had a great picture.
A lot of people disregard men's mental health. They really do. A lot of people say, "Oh, you got mental problems as a man. Go kick rocks." And I feel like with Bray Wyatt, he just needs the right people in his life to direct him through this to get through.
We want the best
because we want Bray Wyatt on TV, man. And it's been a roller coaster.
And as a person too. I mean, he needs, we definitely want to see him in the ring, but it's like, take care of business, but come on back, man. We're ready. The audience is ready for Bray Wyatt, no doubt.
Absolutely. Rumors spreading already for Money in the Bank coming up in just a few months, maybe even next month. I don't know. Damian Priest, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Finn Balor, Chad Gable, Edge have all been named as people potentially in the mix for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Who do you see winning? I know the early word was LA Knight is favored. Who do we see winning the Money in the Bank this year? Just picking everyone in WWE, not just from this list. Jedi J, who you got?
I've been wrong about the Money in the Bank for the past three years. So I feel like anyone that everyone's chanting for, Vince McMahon's in the background, like, all right, let me shake this up and give you something random. I mean, last Money in the Bank, we saw a few Money in Banks ago, we saw Brock Lesnar come out of nowhere. The one at the Stamford, Connecticut, they had run into the top of the building. That was a joke. So the Money in the Bank to me is starting to lower in levels of pay-per-views that I consider great. It's not what it used to be. So it could be honestly potentially any of these guys, any of these top tier guys that are making a push right now on Raw and SmackDown can be the Money in the Bank winner. And all of them seemingly to have had a good run this past year and are good characters. So let's see what happens. I can't even take a guess. Let's see what happens.
The guy said, I swear if Cody wins, but let's be honest, finishing the story is part of its winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on Roman Reigns.
LA Knight needs it. Also,
or does he earn it the hard way and show up at Mania 40 ready to go? Who knows?
Someone's got to man up in the faction of the Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's the head leader of that faction, in my opinion. We need someone to man up and get a belt. And who knows? Who knows?
Final news for the night. Seth Rollins to make a huge freaking appearance. He is going to be in Captain America New World Order, part of it's not Serpent Squad, Serpent something. He's a bad guy in Captain America. This is huge for Seth freaking Rollins. He's seen Cena do it. He's seen The Rock do it. He's seeing Roman Reigns do it. And now it's his time to shine. I think Seth Rollins is destined for Hollywood. What do you guys think about Seth Rollins getting his big break? And this isn't just some Hallmark bullshit, guys. This is Captain America, the universe of universes. Cool, Mike C. What do you think about this?
He looks like a star. I think he's going to pull it off. And if he does, we may not see him wrestling as often either. So if this thing, you want to cheer for Seth to do great, and we all do, but we've seen what happens when they do a really great job, and I think he will. We might be seeing him less in the ring. And maybe it's time for him to make that transition now, now that he's a dad and he's in his 30s, and let his body rest a little bit. He goes pretty strong. I think if he could work like half as much, split up the year half and half, that'd be cool. Give him a chance to shine in other areas.
Jedi J, what do you think about Seth Rollins making his big move to Hollywood?
He is the drip god. He is the visionary. He is Seth.
Bring it to Hollywood.
Oh, sorry, Thomas. He was in Sharknado. My bad. I mean,
okay.
This is Captain America. This is Ian Ziering's big debut. All right. Sharknado is a classic, though. I did love some of that. No, this is a big opportunity for him. This is his moment to, for lack of a better word, shit or get off the pot. And this leads to the final one for the night. I know I said that's last one. This is the real last one. There's rumors that there's hesitancy to put the new title on Seth because he's getting more film roles. Captain America is the first of many. He had to actually pre-tape his segment on Monday Night Raw and was not there live because his duties from Captain America Act needed him to be there. What do you think about this? Jay, you're up there now. What do you think about this? Is this
I'm so tired of rumors.
Who's going to win right now?
This man has literally carried Monday Night Raw on his back. Now, let me tell you the difference between Seth Rollins and the rest. Seth Rollins has been on Monday Night Raw for years, right? All these other actors have been coming and going back and forth. Seth Rollins has carried Monday Night Raw on his back. He is not going anywhere.
Monday Night Rollins.
This is Monday Night Rollins. He's going to win that belt. And Seth Rollins is going to be the yesterday, the today, and the tomorrow. And I'll say this again. Seth Rollins is the hottest thing in wrestling today. I'm telling you right now. I got Seth Rollins all the way.
Jedi J said so.
Drop all the rumors. Forget about it. Seth Rollins is here. He's been putting the company on his back. And we're going to see it. I love Seth Rollins, and he's the man. Let's be honest.
Cool, Mike.
We'd all like to see our favorite Riddle. Want to see Matt Riddle winning it. That would be my first pick.
Well, he's not in it.
Personally.
It's
I believe he could be.
Him and
AJ Styles and Seth Rollins for the title.
Oh, that match? I was talking about the Money in the Bank because I never got a chance to talk. But I wanted to see AJ win it, of course. And it would be a great way for AJ to come back, and it'd be a great way for Seth to take a break. So that's how I'd see it. AJ over Seth in that match.
I like to see Odyssey Jones win the Money in the Bank.
As I have my AJ Styles, frame behind me. But
me too. We got the same frame.
And the belt, the AJ Styles. Big in TNA, big in WWE, finally a WWE champ a couple times. Love to see AJ now that he's back. He doesn't have that much more to go. One last run.
I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. AJ Styles is the best wrestler I've ever seen in my entire life in person. If you were there,
many
in 2004 at TNA in 2004, 2005, 2006, AJ Styles came out every night and put on absolute bangers.
I don't know if you heard this, but he has plans to retire this year.
Right. One last run.
Someone told me he was retiring at the end of this year. So the Phenomenal One is probably going to retire this year. And this is sad for wrestling, man, because he's one of the pure-hearted greats that, we've seen for years and years. You know what I mean? And we all love him. We all love him.
One more chance for AJ. Let's see one more run. I think it could happen because he doesn't have much time left. Let's see it. He doesn't have to keep it for 1,000 days or something. And if the guy keeps it for a few months, it's worth it. 2 months.
I got Seth freaking Rollins winning the whole thing. I love AJ Styles, but this is Seth's moment. This is Seth's belt to win. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Next week, we are going to be just the homies. And then the following week is May 31st. I'm giving away the Undisputed title. And we have a very special guest for you that will be announced soon enough. Any last words,
Let's see
gentlemen?
that title. Let's see that title.
Yeah, up and close, baby.
Yeah, man. Let's see it,
see
man.
that.
See the Undisputed Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see the Big Daddy.
Look at this
Daddy.
beautiful thing.
Look at this. How's that going to look in your den?
This thing is so beautiful. I'm not going to lie, guys. It is absolutely amazing.
You got to stay tuned for that.
It's way bigger than I thought it was. Like, man, this is a real.
Got some substance to it, yeah.
This was made for Brock Lesnar. Let's be honest. This was like, we're going to make a new Undisputed title, and it's going to look. Who was the first person to have it, though? Was it Jericho? Did they turn it, or who? I know who won.
I thought it was Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar or Guerrero? I don't remember. There's a lot of people. Let us know in the comments. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Niko knows best. We will be back next week. We love you guys. Missy Hyatt, thank you so much for joining us. That interview was absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Missy. That was top notch.
Talk to you later. We out.